All right. Well, the last piece that we want to talk about is a pre-release guide. We did that last time. Alex did that last time. There you go. Alex did this last time. Alex did this time. We thought it would
for every set.
I know. So we thought it. Well, we didn't do it set one, but we weren't podcasting then. So there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alex is the one that puts this together. That's like Alex's core responsibility for our group is to make sure that every time, and I'll tell you what, I don't print this out, but I save this on my phone so that when we go play pre-release, I just pull my phone out and go, oh yeah, we talked about okay, cool. We talked about this. All right. Yeah.
You're gonna post like a link to this, right, or whatever.
Post it up. Yes, I posted I recreated the document in Sheets, and I have a copy of the Google Sheets in our show notes for each of the videos, so you will 100% all be able to get it. So let's bring up the deck, or I guess it's not a deck. Let's bring up
a lot of words.
The words. So we'll kind of start at the top. I've got all of it here for you to be able to see. Alex put in different colors. Alex, what do the colors mean?
That's our aspects.
There you go.
I mean, made it pretty easy, straightforward, right? Colors are easy to see unless you're colorblind, so that helps.
Yes. So he also put on there the rarities for this.
For the leaders, yeah.
For the leaders, yep. What does 25 mean that you have in there?
Yeah, so I'll get to that when I do this. So yeah, each time I just do like 3 categories because, it's not like we played the set beforehand in a sealed environment, especially. So it's like, I don't, these are my guesses. So the 3 categories are, this is probably good, this is probably okay, and this is probably bad, or like very niche or something weird like that, right? Or doesn't work intrinsically in a sealed environment. So this is just the leaders. So in the probably good category, I have Mother Talzin, for reasons that we were talking about earlier, efficiency. I put Ahsoka Tano because just like giving things Sentinels really good in a sealed environment.
Mm-hmm.
I put Snoke just because creating really big units is also very good in a sealed environment, especially in this set where there's not a lot of removal. I put Avar Kriss just because that is a pain to deal with when she flips. It's huge, right? So Obi-Wan Kenobi. Just buffing units, efficiency, a lot of efficiency things in sealed, right?
Yep.
Third sister, and then Qui-Gon, because I think Qui-Gon's really good. Obviously, you got a little bit more dependent on your card pool there, but everyone should, if they follow the normal trend, everyone should be getting a Maul and a Qui-Gon, so that's why they're here.
Yeah, they will.
So 4 leaders that I said are probably okay. I have Kylo. It really depends on upgrades and stuff you get, but having a 5/5 Sentinel leader flip's okay. I put Kanan in probably okay. The 25 is how many targets there are in this set that are creatures or the one Spectre unit.
Yeah, the one Ezra that you probably get one
Ezra.
Of.
Yep. Some of the creatures are not quite viable targets, I would say. You're not probably going to build a mono blue deck with Kanan, so like Dune's probably not going to be on there, and I don't think you should play a lot of the neutral creatures that are really understated that exist in the set, but you can with Kanan. But also, like his flip turn, if you just have a creature out there, it's really nasty. I put Kit Fisto in probably okay as well. Kind of just depends on how many Jedi you have, right? I have Barriss in probably okay. Again, that's kind of dependent on your events. And also using the Force while still flipping your leader is a little bit rough. Grand Inquisitor, because minus attack's actually pretty solid in the sealed environment. And then I have Anakin, because he's a little bit versatile. So it opens up your card pool, so he's probably fine, but also limiting yourself to one aspect's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of like, because you have access to other things. Notice that Darth Revan is not in the probably okay, because one aspect's pretty rough. So in the probably bad, I have Morgan Elsbeth, because there's not a lot of synergy with her internally in this set. I got Darth Maul, just because I don't think he does much. honestly, and his flip turned a little bit underwhelming. I have Ray, just because it doesn't seem worth the 7 flip in a sealed environment for sure. Even though there are like more non-forest units, it just doesn't seem great.
I don't think there's enough of them to justify her, which is weird because I kind of feel like they were trying to build her for sealed, but
I don't know. I think she seems better in construct than she does in sealed, honestly. I put Cal Kestis in probably bad just because he's low statted, and like letting your opponent exhaust their worst unit is not detrimental in a sealed environment because they're playing not a lot of great units.
Yep, so they don't care.
Yeah, and then Darth Revan's probably bad because single aspect villainy is kind of rough. So that's my ideas for that.
All right, let's move on to some of the legendaries because I think the legendaries are less likely. Like people do pull them, but right, do they matter as much?
Yeah, and I think there's like 20 of them, right? And I think they're trying to increase the rate or something like that. I don't know. Legendaries I have for this probably good is Blue Vader.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not like ambushing them out in this set at all, right? But also a 5/6 for 6 that can potentially kill your opponents pretty solid.
Yep.
And then I have Anakin. It seems -3/-3 in a sealed environment with really nice stats is pretty good. I've got Yoda just because he seems like a pretty ridiculous late game play. Sealed games do tend to go a little bit longer because your whole deck is in just like power units. So having like a nice late game bomb kind of like that with Yoda, especially that he heals, seems pretty solid. HK-47, so good. Grand Inquisitor, other reasons we talked earlier. Bendu is just like a monster bomb. There's not too much removal, like just straight up in this set. It's mostly like Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
So having a giant like 10/10 unit can cause a lot of problems, especially because he's only like 8 and not like 9 like a Great Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, I got Qui-Gon Jinn, just also because ambush is really good, and then also like bouncing and all that kind of stuff's real nice. I put Darth Malik as probably good as well. Just because I mean a 4/7 overwhelm isn't. It's fine. It's fine. He's got. It's mostly the 7 health, honestly. That does it for me. And then like if you have a Sith leader, you ready him, but that's what Revan. And
You're playing him because of his
Revan.
stats. Yeah.
Yeah. So or Maul, I guess everyone gets Maul, right? So that is some sort of synergy there. I have Grogu, and probably good as well, just because healing's pretty nice. And then a constructed lightsaber, because like Raid or Sentinel or Restorer is pretty good in a sealed environment. For probably okay, I have the Mythosaur, just because he is a giant bomb. But, I mean, he's hard out. And then I got Marshawn Rowe and the Legacy run. I have little asterisks next to some of these units and some of these cards, and that's kind of like it's between those tiers. So the Legacy run is probably between probably okay and probably good. Like you can play it. Its impact really is iffy.
It's good.
Right?
I think
it's good if it dies and they have units, but it's also a 3/3 for 5. So like it's a huge trade-off, which is why it's like it's probably okay, but also it can do a lot. So that's why it's probably a little bit better than probably okay.
It's really good in Yellow Thrawn.
Oh, I'm sure, but that's not in a sealed environment. And then probably bad, I have always 2, the Supremacy, Leia, Oppo Rancisis, Sindralig, Zuckuss, and the Father. A lot of those are like double aspect stuff, which is generally not what you want to do in a sealed environment. Or like really randomly niche like Leia.
I don't know. I kind of like Leia, I guess.
In sealed? like you need hero units, which
You're right, and you probably don't have that many of them.
right, and then also it's like a 5/5 for 5 in space that doesn't do anything, and then yeah, so it's a little bit weird. And then like Sindralig is more like, well, you have to have both him and a lightsaber in your hand.
He's just not good, period.
I don't think he's like super bad. I think you're down on him more than I am. But in a sealed thing, you also have to make sure you have a lightsaber and all that. I don't like 2-card combos in a sealed. And like also the father is like, he's probably between bad and okay. It really kind of just depends. I mean, he's got the big booty, but he's also an A cost.
Yeah, and he's okay.
I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's bad. So that's why he's like bad plus.
Yeah, I think it's one of those. If you get him, put him in your deck anyway. You're probably never gonna use it, but it's nice to have that card in there for if you do get to late game. And we don't know. My guess is there's not much late game that you're going to be getting to in this set. My guess is that the majority of the stuff is going to be super fast games because these units are pretty high powered.
It is sealed as well, though, right? So, like, you know, you are pretty limited on the cards you can do. You know, and we're not going to go through all the commons and uncommons because there's a ton of them. So let's just hit the rares and call it a night here. For probably good, I have Krell. Just because he's just kind of a big unit that's just a little bit difficult to deal with, especially with no removal. I have Yaddle because Yaddle's a 2/4 for 4 restore 1 is bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
I have Craving Power. And I'm blanking on what that does right now. Oh, that's the Overwhelming Barrage upgrade. Sorry.
Yeah.
I keep calling it Underwhelming Barrage, so I never learned the Craving Power name for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so Craving Power. I got Eth Koth. That's the resupply guy. Yoda's lightsaber, mostly just because it also heals you, and it can go on anything, right? It's not restricted to Yoda, so it heals, gives you 3/1. I got the Purgle King because I think if you drop that, I don't know what your opponent could do against you. So restore 4.
You cry a little bit. I think that's what you do.
He's got 12 health, so it's not really taking him out anytime soon. I got Burden of the Masters, which is interesting to me. I'm not sure exactly how to rate this, but it's like you put a force unit from your discard pile at the bottom of your deck. If you do, you can play a unit from your hand and give 2 experience to it. So, like, you can put a good card back into your deck if you ever get that late game. Or just pay 1 and give something 2 experience tokens. So I think that's pretty worth it.
Yeah, I think so too. I kind of like that card. It secretly like that card anyway. I think that there's uses to it that we'll unlock. So
yeah, there's Adigalia. Seems pretty good. Kid Fisto's Aether Sprite. Just defeat any number of upgrades on a unit. Seems really nice. Unfortunately, there's not. Yeah, a lot of the red seems kind of iffy. Next up is I have, as I have foreseen, you know, look at the top card of your deck, spend the force, pay 4 less.
It's my new Thrawn card.
Seems really good. Yeah, you need the force for that, though.
I'm going to have a Force Thrawn deck, don't worry.
And then Liberated by Darkness. That's the change of heart for 1 less if you use the force. You know, Vinestra, just because of 3/4, use the force to ready her, is really strong for 3. And then I have Trust Your Instincts, which we talked about a little bit earlier. But that's just, you know, shoot first, but you get +2 attack. And you know, use the force. So it's really nice in a sealed environment. Then I have both the son and the daughter for probably good. I mean, if you have the force and you have the son, then just all your units just get +2 attack, and that's really crazy. He's also a 6/8 for 7, so he's like decently statted if you're going to drop him. And then the daughter's a 4/6 for 5, and then when damage is dealt, you just heal 2 if you use the force.
Mm-hmm.
So that can prolong games pretty well and put you out ahead. I don't think those are terribly controversial picks there. For probably okay, I have Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Like not being bounced is, or sorry, not being exhausted is fine, I guess.
That's a 1-3.
Yeah,
It gives you extra
1-3 for
health.
2. Yeah, that's mostly what it's nice for. It's just gives you 3 extra health.
Yeah.
And then I got Tragedy of Plagueis.
Plagueis.
Whatever.
Plagueis. It's Plagueis.
Plagueis.
Oh my gosh. Edit.
Plagueis.
Thank you.
Anyways, yeah, that would just. It's mostly because your opponent chooses a unit to defeat, and you're unkillable a little bit. I got like Ahsoka's ship in there because like a 3/4 for 3 space unit's not bad, and there's not a lot of like good quality space units in this set at all. Given the experience when it's attacked as a minor thing, it's probably never going to happen, but it's decently statted. Then I have Captain Enoch. I actually gave him a little asterisk there just because he has the potential of being a lot better. He's the guy. He's a 1/5 for 3 that gets +1 for each trooper in your discard pile. So he's pretty good late game. The Eye of Zion. Again, there's not a lot of good quality space units in here. So that actually is like semi-relevant. Luminous Beings, which is the I'm not sure about this one. So it's like the 6-cost green hero, right? You put 3 force units from your discard at the bottom of your deck, and then give that many units +4/+4. So it kind of will like close out games or like just not be super relevant.
Yeah, and it's a rare, so you're probably only getting one of them anyway. So I think it's you get it. I think you play it or you put it in your deck.
Yeah,
and the chance that it could be really good.
Right, like if you have 2 units, right, then it's just now you're swinging for an extra 8, which could be pretty relevant. And then I have Malakili. That's the creature guy. Again, 24 creatures, so he could be kind of useful. Yeah,
baby. You get a lot of creatures.
That's why he's okay.
Yeah.
I have Death Field in the okay because that also does hit you.
Mm-hmm.
But you do 2 damage to a bunch of stuff, each non-vehicle, and you draw a card. Then I got Time of Crisis, kind of again because it hits all your stuff, right? You and your opponent choose a unit, and then you just do 3 damage to everything else. So,
quick question for anybody watching this still, and if you play that and don't have a unit to choose, can you still play that card and wipe their board?
I mean, yeah, right.
Okay, that's going to be a question. Yep, that'll be a question that comes up. I guarantee it. More than one time.
Consistent rules for the past 4 sets.
I'm just
as
saying.
Much as you can. I don't need to have a unit for Merciless Contest.
Nope. And people still don't like that.
I'm fine with it. It's great. I got Deceptive Shade, mostly because I mean it's like okay, it's cool if you have follow up, but if it dies and you have no other unit, like nothing worth playing, then whatever. Second Sister, mostly because of the 6 health, honestly. The discarding cards from your deck isn't good. There is a high enough density of force units that you might be able to ready a resource, but also it's just like 6 attack, or 6 health. It is pretty nice. Then I have Mind Trick, which, exhausting units. That's why it's good.
Yep.
Premonition of Doom. It could be pretty relevant if your opponent has like a lot more units than you do. That's the one. If you take the initiative, you just exhaust all their units. So just end the turn on your terms. And then Psychometry I have as a okay plus. Just because if you have like enough relevant traits between your units, generally it's like the force in the set, just paying 1 to draw 1 is pretty good. And then probably okay as well, I have Darth Revan's lightsabers. Not a lot of Sith, but it's still +2/+2. That can go in any villainy deck. And then Luke Skywalker, I think is a little bit expensive for what you're doing in a sealed environment. So, like, you need another unique unit, and then you also have to spend the Force, and then Luke also has to still be out for the experience in the shield. So, And probably bad, I actually have both the Jedi and the Sith holocrons. I don't think they really do enough to warrant playing them. Jedi Trials, I don't even know why you would ever play this in a sealed thing. Like, there's nothing relevant for a Jedi tag in this set. I mean, there are, but like not.
Because you want to make something a Jedi. That's all.
Right. Like, not that you want to like blow 4 turns building up a Jedi.
Yep. It's a meme sake.
I think Doom, like, you don't want to do mono decks, right? Like, that's a lot of it. I think Size Matters Not is slightly ahead just because you do get a 1 cost reduction if you have a Force unit, so it is a 4 cost if you're not playing mono blue. Or double blue, I guess I should say, because Anakin's a thing, right? So I like that card. I don't think Axe Wolves, very, very good here. Not ways of stacking a lot of upgrades on him. Ogdo Bogdo just doesn't. These aren't the leaders for him.
Yeah,
like you have other ways of doing damage to him, just not really in this set. The Drengir Spawn just doesn't.
It just dies, man. That's what it does.
It's a 3/3, and if it defeats the unit, it gets the experience. But like, that's hard to set up in a sealed kind of thing, right?
Who are you killing? Owen Lars? That's it, right? You know, like
just eating the moisture farmer. Then I got Scytho Dryas just because there's not really like clones, right?
Yep.
Then I got Scythe. I probably should have put a plus on it just because there's not a lot of good vehicles. It just, you have to have other Inquisitors, otherwise it's a 3/5 for 4 spaceship, which is not well statted, even if it is an Inquisitor unit, which is kind of funny. I have Rey, just because there's not too many ways of drawing outside your action phase internally in this set. And a 5/5 for 5 is okay, but not exactly what you'd want, especially for Rey. And then Paz Vizsla, double red. That's a tall ask to play for 7. The Invasion Control Ship, well, have fun. There's no droids, really.
just your one. It's just your one droid.
The best droid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
like, when you pull 3 of those, and then you have the Invasion Control Ship, you can then play it.
Yeah, if you get 3 HK-47s and also 3 Invasion Control Ship, I guess go for it.
Yeah.
And I have the Heavy Blaster Cannon. I kind of have it in bad plus. It's a +2/+2 for 4, but when you play it, you do like ping 1 unit 3 times. So if they have shields, it actually is pretty relevant, but that's about it. And then I got Babu because there's not a lot of droids.
Yeah.
There's a couple, like BD1, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rest of it, we aren't going to go through line by line the rest of it. I think you could kind of look through it. And I think the big thing, this is the big thing, right? Like taking these cards and breaking them up based on, for the most part, breaking them up and basing them on color so that you kind of know as you're drafting, like blue is heavier, red is heavier. So like if we go back up and you get a lot of rares, green and yellow is your bay right there, right? You know, like that's probably the highest you're going to get in terms of like really good cards. But if you're not getting a lot of rares and you're more in the uncommons and the commons, like you could do a count. You know, I think green has less commons and uncommons than the rest of them do in terms of really good cards, right? Whereas blue, this set is pretty high on the
commons and uncommons for blues I think is really good, but like the rares are like just not great. They're all super situational. It's a little bit bizarre.
Yep, and it's kind of same with red. Red higher cost ones really just don't do a lot, you know.
Yeah, they're very niche in this set. Like they work. They integrate really well with the other sets, but like as a set self-contained, the red's a little bit like iffy. It's kind of strange.
Yeah. And so I think that's one of the big things is kind of go through here and look at that, you know, and say, okay, you know, where does some of this fit? And then you're going to have to see how many you get. But we made the guide available. You have the ability to get the link. You can download it. I will not let you modify it, but you're welcome to download it. So you can take the link and download it. and then do what you want with it to your heart's content. We have no proprietary information in here other than Alex's long beard, which he doesn't have anymore. So,
also, I mean, like, we can touch on the bases, I guess. Play the 28 health ones. Don't play the 25 health ones. You can kind of maybe get away with it with Mystic Monastery, but like you might as well just play all the 28 health ones. I don't think the 25 health ones are worth playing in a sealed environment.
No, and I think we found that last time. Like the data vault really didn't do anything, and Colossus was okay.
Sealed is rough.
Colossus was an okay thing just because it was 35 health, but like that was about it.
Loss later, and the bat doesn't do anything for you. So in this one, just play the 28 health ones. The 25
that's what they're designed for.
Save that for construction. Yeah.
Like you said, the one that could happen is the one where it allows you to do the force 3 times. Like that possibly could be good for like an Avar Chris.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah. And now you're kind of like in a mono world again, and then you're probably just going to cry for the rest of the time anyway, so it's probably not worth it. So, well, all right. Well, that was our kind of lead up into draft. We have not done any online type drafts or anything like that. So this is sealed. Sorry. So this is kind of our this is just the look at the environment for what we believe. Like,